Welcome to Global Studies with Miss Pritchard. This is a lecture for Global 2. It will cover the scientific revolution, which occurs from approximately 1550 to 1789 AD, and it occurred in Europe. Alright, as with most things, we have to talk about where it began, or the origins. And the origins for the scientific revolution are the Crusades. This is when thousands of Europeans marched thousands of miles to the Holy Land, and they were there to conquer it and take it over for the Christians. But when they got there, they were like, oh my God, these people live way better than we do. They had learning and technology and trade. They had luxury items. They had universities and beautiful buildings. And, well, the Europeans wanted all of that. So once the Europeans go back to Europe and the Crusades are all over, that is when you see the Renaissance begin in Italy. And it starts in Italy because they are right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, which makes it a perfect place to trade from. And with that new trade, they get lots of money, which allows learning and art to develop again, and it spreads throughout Europe. Then we get the European Age of Exploration. The Europeans decide they don't necessarily want to trade through the Middle East anymore. They want to eliminate the middleman and keep more of the profits for themselves. And with their new science and technology, they're better able to explore the world. And that's how they end up discovering the New World, and we get the Columbian Exchange and social mobility. There's all of these new rich people in Europe, and then that spreads to the Americas. And this is when Europeans start to question traditional knowledge, because they're like, wait a minute, the church is saying that the Earth is the center of the universe, but from what I can see, that doesn't quite seem to be the truth. So you get all of these traditions being questioned, which leads to new studies and new discoveries. Alright, and it starts with observation. People start looking at the world, and rather than just believing everything that they've read, which would be the Bible along with Greek and Roman philosophy, things they've been told, they start to look at how the world actually operates and realize that it doesn't quite match. It's a lot like today when people just believe everything they read on the internet instead of actually looking for evidence. It's a lot the same. Alright, so the first thing that comes under question is the geocentric theory versus the heliocentric theory. And the observation supported the heliocentric universe with the sun at the center. And then you have several people, Copernicus, Brahe, Kepler, and Galilei, who all work to prove it. But then you have that big, huge power, the Catholic Church, which was the only thing uniting people since the Middle Ages, that disagree with it, and they don't like to be questioned. They're like that mean parent who's, no, it's my way or the highway, and if you disagree with me, I'm either going to hold you under house arrest or burn you at the stake. Not good options, if you ask me. Alright, so despite the Catholic Church and all of it saying no, 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 you have new ways of thinking, and a lot of this also has to do with the Protestant Revolution, because not everybody in Europe is Catholic anymore, so they don't really care if the church says no. So you get new scientists like Bacon and Descartes, and they begin following a logical scientific method to prove their theories. In other words, they come up with an idea, and then they experiment, and they test it, and they either prove it or disprove it, and then they share their evidence. That is the key, sharing the evidence. That's why you have to write lab reports. Isaac Newton, he is the one who takes science and makes it take a huge leap forward. He develops the laws of motion and gravity, which starts modern physics as we know it. He also believed that the universe could be understood because it operated like a machine. It wasn't just this random bunch of actions determined by a god or multiple gods, but there was a reason for everything. And, along with a reason for everything, became new instruments to measure those things. The microscope could study teeny tiny little things. The barometer measured the pressure in the air, which that's what determines if we're going to get thunderstorms or not today. And the thermometer, taking the temperature. All of these things made studying easier. And it's a domino effect. Once you get one change, it leads to another and another and another. So think of a whole row of dominoes. When you push one over, by the end, it's going really fast. And these changes also brought advances in medicine and chemistry, which made daily life and culture much better. You're going to start to see people live longer because medicine, it's no longer, oh, that's infected, we're going to chop it off. It's, let's see why it's infected and how we can treat it. All right, so the key to understand here is that stupid people don't revolt. The less you know, the more you'll agree with an authority figure telling you what to do. So once you start to get a little bit of knowledge and a little smarter, you don't want to listen to somebody telling you what to do. So the changes in thought brought changes in life. And remember, thinking plus a revolution will lead to democracy. All right, make sure you have these notes in your notebook in a Cornell format. I will be checking them.